Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to this InDesign workshop. Today we're going to be making a card, but I'm also going to show you some tips and tricks from InDesign and how everything works. So the functionality of the several parts of InDesign. My name is Annelies. I'm this one, and here is my lovely flow-related background. So by now you should have downloaded InDesign and have installed it on your computer. Maybe you have the free trial from Adobe. So just gonna click it and open it. And then just wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Well, this is the first screen that you get. As I have been working on in InDesign before, I have some projects here that I've been working on, but we're now going to make a new one. As you can see, my InDesign is in Dutch, so I will be trying to translate everything as we go. But the buttons and everything will have a different name if you have the English version. Okay, so we're gonna click create new. And then here we get a screen with all different kinds of sizes. And there's a lot. So we got drukwerk, so that's publishable material. This is the more standard sizes. And today we're going to be making a card, and I think we'll be using the A5 size. A5 equals to, if you don't have this standard in your InDesign, it's 148 times 210. You can adjust that over here, so on the right. And I'm just gonna name this InDesign workshop card. Now, today we're going to be working with the metric system, so we're gonna be using millimeters. Maybe you're not used to the metric system and you want to use the imperial system. Maybe you want to make a post for Facebook or something. Then you can choose to use a different kind of measurement. Here in units we have you can choose. Like, do you want inches, millimeters, centimeters? We're going to be using millimeters today, but most Facebook posts, for example, you can easily make in pixels. And you can also transfer this to pixels, so you can see that this 419 by 595 equals the 148 times 210 millimeters. But we're going to be making it in millimeters. Also, I wanted to be in a portrait mode. So here I could switch, and then the width and height also switch. We can make several pages, so we're going to do just one today. So you can, if you want to write something on the back, you can, just after you printed it. We're just going to use one column, and everything here is now set. So now we click create, and we get our empty InDesign working field. Now, as you can see, there's a toolbar on the side here. If you do not see this, and this is kind of important because we're going to be using this a lot, you can go to screen, I think, window here. Go here and then choose essential elements, because then you see all these thingies. Yeah, I will be explaining these, well, not all of them, but some of them. So here we have the normal, like, arrow kind of thing. We use this to select stuff when it's on the screen. I'm just going to make a rectangle real quick. And I can select this using the black arrow, so this one. Now I can also make it bigger, I can make it wider, higher, but maybe I have it like this, and I want it to be bigger, but proportionally. What I do, I select the corner, I press the shift button, and then when I move it up and down, it increases proportionally. Then maybe you're like, yeah, okay, so I have this rectangle, but I want it to be a perfect square. So I want it to be 100 by 100 millimeters. We go up here, and we have the D for breedte in Dutch, or the W for width, and the H for height. We just make it 100. We also do this for the other one. I just press enter, and then we have a perfect 100 by 100 millimeter square. Yeah, okay. Then we take this arrow. So here we have the, well, let's call it the empty arrow, and here we got the filled in arrow. We can do some stuff with this as well. Yes, as you can see, there are like little blue dots everywhere around the shape. If I deselect it, just by clicking anywhere randomly in the document, and I click it again, these dots have become white. And if I drag one of those, it's an anchor point, that's what it's called, just this thing changes. So instead of the entire square, I can make adjustments based on this one anchor point. So I can make whatever shape I want. Let's make something pretty. There we go. This is done by anchor points. You can also add anchor points. And then you can make even more shapes. Okay, so that's you can do that with the pen tool. And we click the pen tool, and you click here, and maybe here on the lines. Then we select the filled in arrow again, deselect the shape, and select it again. And then I have another anchor point and another one here that I can drag. And this way you can make all kinds of shapes. Okay, but I'm gonna delete it for now, as the I just want a like rectangle now. There we go. So how did I do this? How did I get the rectangle? Yeah, I'm gonna do it again. So here we have a little button with a rectangle in it, and you can make a rectangle. Down here you can already choose the filling and the outline color that you want. Well, maybe I want it to be blue. Let's make it a bit flow bluey. I don't know the exact color, and we make the outline yellow. There we go. Then we press the rectangle button, and there we go. Well, the outline's not very visible right now, and that's because it's only one point. You can see that up here. I'm going to increase the outline, and then you see that it becomes bigger and bigger. And then we have this beautiful rectangle. Now, maybe I made this rectangle and I'm like, okay, but I actually want it to be another shape. I don't want a rectangle. I want it to be round, or I want it to be like a triangle. We can go up here and select object. Then all the way down, we can change our shape. So I'm gonna make it into a circle thing right now. And there we go. Then we have a circle with the same dimensions and color settings as we had with the rectangle. However, here on the left, where we click the rectangle, we can also make a circle. So if we right click on a mouse, there are several options. And if I select the circle one, I get a beautiful circle. Again, with the 0.1 outline, because I haven't adjusted that yet. So I'm gonna do the selection tool again, and then I can move it all around. Now maybe I'm just gonna choose a random color, so you can see that there's a difference. By pressing the M button on your keyboard, you can change between rectangle and a circle. M is for rectangle, L is for circle, as you can see here on the left. Okay, so here I have this green rectangle and I have a blue circle. But actually I want the rectangle to be the same color as the circle. So what can I do? Instead of like looking into the colors the entire time, I can just take the pipette that's over here on the left. I select it, and then I take the color from the circle, and now the rectangle is also blue. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna delete all of this. You can delete by just selecting a shape and then pressing the delete button on your keyboard. I'm gonna make the standard outline a bit bigger so you can see it more clearly. If I draw something again. Then again, on the left, here we have a little square with a cross in it. And we can also here choose between a rectangle, circle, and polygon. Well, we're going to go for the rectangle. Now, if I make this, as you can see, there's no blue filling and there's no yellow outline. Now, this is because this is a frame for an image. You can, it's like a content frame, and the current assigned content is an image. We can also right click, and then we can go to content over here. We can choose between image, text, or not assigned. We choose text, and we can type in it. When an image, we can place an image in it. And I'm just going to delete this again. We go back to the left, and we have a little T over here. Well, the T is used to add text. So we can make a shape, and then we can type something like this. Just by pressing Ctrl-Alt, you can select everything, and then up here there are the normal commands that you maybe recognize from Microsoft Word or something. There are options to make the text bigger, choose a different kind of font. I have a lot of fonts because I love different kind of fonts and I download them all the time. You can choose whatever. You can choose a different color for your text, whether you want the letters to be further apart, whether you want the letters to be wider themselves, whether we want it to be italics, whether you want it to be a bit taller, and then we can also give the letters an outline, but I often don't because that's not really pretty. And we can center them wherever we want. Okay, so I have this beautiful text over here. Now, I want to have this text right in the middle of my document. If you don't see any lines right now, you should press the W button. If you do have lines, then they will disappear, and otherwise they will appear. So they are our helping lines. And if I now put this in the middle, as you can see, it's now perfectly centered because I have this helping purple line or pink line that's telling me where I should place my sentence. Now I press W and it's just on a white plane without any of the lines. So this is your final result of the document. Now, what do these lines actually mean? If you are going to make a printed version of your document, then you have to stay within these lines. Everything outside of these lines might get lost while printing. They're also, if you make like a magazine or something, then these are cutting edges, they call them. This is loosely translated. But then if I were to put this over here, then there is a chance that there is going to be a cut made over here, and then I'm going to lose this part, so the H would be lost. But that's not going to happen today because we're going to work within the lines. So here we go. As you can see, there was like a weird line in my hello world thingy. My InDesign sometimes does some weird stuff, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to delete this again. And then we're going to start working on the card that I had planned. There is a Google Drive in which you can find the images that I'll be using today. These are all downloaded from either Google or different websites. For Google, I always you always should adjust the whether you can make adjustments to images and whether you can use them. And I like to use a couple of websites such as, wait, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because otherwise I don't think you can read it. Friedrich and Splash. You can get a lot of free icons and beautiful pictures on these websites to use in your projects. Okay. Well, I had decided something I like is a background with a bit of color. So I am going to drag a big content frame, so for an image, and now I get the big cross on my file, because that's where the image is going to be. I want to add an image to this frame. I go to File, so up here on the left, press it, and then I have a lot of different options. This may be different to things you've been used to. I choose plaatsen, so place in English, select it, and then I get my my files. This is the folder I was telling you about, the Google Drive folder, and I wanted to use a confetti background, so I just double click it, and there it is. Now, this is not the right size for our card. Backgrounds, by the way, we can cross the purple lines, because if they are cut, it doesn't really matter. They're just the background and they're to make it more fun. So what are we going to do to make this fit the entire rectangle shape we have over here? If we click the image, you see that there's a blue outline. I'll make it a bit bigger so you can see a blue outline over here. Now, if I double click, you see that there's a brown outline around the image itself. The blue outline really just adjusts the size of the frame, so it does nothing to the image itself. If it does, you can right click, or if you wanted to, go to aanpassen. I think it's edit for you, and you can go to options. If I say if I click this one, I don't know the English word, I'm so sorry, then the image gets bigger when I use the blue line, when I drag it. But I'm gonna reset this real quick. Okay, there we go. So I have this brown line, and if I use the brown line, as you can see, my image changes. And if I cross the blue lines, that part of the image disappears. You can just use Ctrl Z, by the way, to undo your actions. Now I like this, but I want to make it bigger. Now I'm gonna press my Shift key and drag the bottom part to make it bigger, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the top, and then I got it bigger. Well, as you can see, the quality is not very high. I can press the image, go up here next to window, and choose for the preview to be of high quality. Now you can see it a bit better. As you can see, all the brown lines go all the way to here, so I have an image up to there. And if I make this bigger, then it gets added, but the blue lines really cut the lines of the image. Now maybe I'm thinking, I like this image, but I want it to be upside down, or I want it to be mirrored from this one. Then we go up, and here we have several options that you might recognize. These are used to rotate the image. As you can see, it's rotating all the way, and the other way around as well. Mirror the image, or put it upside down. And now you think, oh god, my image is gone. It's just on the bottom because you put it upside down, and you can put it back. And there we go. Okay, but I'm gonna keep it like this. Now, say I want to write a text. I put this in there, and I just write some text. Hello. I'm making it a bit bigger again so you can read it. And then I want another text. I'm just going to copy it, so you can just use Ctrl C or Command C and Ctrl or Command V, and I have this text. Now, I want to move both these texts at the same time. What I can do is select both items. This can be done manually, so you can click one of the items, hold your Control or Command key, click the other one, the Shift key, click the other one, and then I can move both items at the same time. However, sometimes you have like a bunch of different things, and I'm just gonna put a lot of things here, and then you don't want to have to select all these things at the same time that way if you're going to move it around. But and then so we can drag with the select tool, and then we can select everything at the same time, and we can move it. Oh, but what happens now? Our background is moving as well, and that's something we don't want. We want the background to stay where it is. So what we can do, we select the background image. You can see that something is selected when the little corners, the little squares get highlighted at the corners. And we go to Object on top, and we can click this. I don't know the English word right now, I'm sorry. And then it's set. So now if I select, only the text is moving and my background is still fine and in place. Now I'm going to delete this again and put 2 back. Now you can have my 2 little text thingies. Well, maybe I'm like, okay, so I made this text and I want these 2 texts to always be together. But like one is over here and one is over there. But this is the layout I want, and I want them always to be together. Well, we can arrange that. So we select both by either dragging or by pressing the Shift key and selecting them with our mouse. Right click, and then we can group the 2 frames. Now they're grouped, and if I move one of them, the other one moves as well. And then you can see the middle line again. It doesn't give me the middle of either this little rectangle or this little rectangle, but the middle of both rectangles together. Now maybe I'm thinking, I don't really like this over here. I want it to be somewhere else. Then, like, if I once click it, you see the dotted line around it. Everything here is selected. Then I can double click one of the 2 thingies, move it around, deselect, and I see that there's still dotted lines around it, so they're still grouped and I can still move them together. Maybe you're like, I don't like this, I don't want them to be grouped again together anymore. Right click and degroup. So now we have 2 separate items once again. Okay, I'm going to delete this right now. Okay, so for our card, I thought it would be fun to make something like a Father's Day kind of card. So I'm going to select a round content frame and just put it over here. There we go. I like it to be a perfect circle because I'm a bit of a neat freak in that way. So I'm going to make it 100 to 100. And I would like it to be exactly in the middle. So at the point that I see both this line and I see this line. Now I want my circle to have a bit of an outline, and then I can go up here and here I can choose my outline. First I have to give it some points, because if it doesn't have any points, there's not going to be an outline. So I'm just going to move it to, well, 5. Yeah, 5. And here I can choose a color. Now, there are some colors preset, but probably you want to use a different color. So you can double click the color icon here, and I go to the yellow, and then I think maybe I want it to be a little bit more goldy, so I make it like this. You can also, if you know the exact, I'm working in CMYK over here, you can also work in RGB or whatever you want. If you know the exact percentages and the numbers of the colors, you can also adjust that manually here. So maybe I'm like, I want it to be 2% magenta, and then it changes automatically. But I was happy with the 0%. I'm gonna press OK, and now this is my yellow. Now, I'm gonna show you something. Now, if I add this beautiful square and I add another one and another one, we can see they're all the same color. So they're all this green color. Now, if I'm thinking, I want this green to be a bit different, and I adjust it. Oh, sorry, I did something wrong. Just a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna make something with this. So here we go with the different kind of green. And now if I'm adjusting this color green, then all my squares are going to be adjusting. So not just one, and that is because it is the same color switch that we're using. This accounts for every one of the colors. So if I were to pick this one and I'm going to change it, I just want to select it, then everything that was this color before, and if I now press this, will turn light blue. Okay, I'm going to remove this. So if you have a different, all kinds of elements with roughly the same colors, be aware that you don't randomly change one of the switches you've already used, but make a new one. You can make a new one by clicking this icon, then you get a copy of the one you just selected, and you can make smaller or bigger adjustments and change the color. But okay, so here we go. We have this round thing, and I want to add an image. So we go to File, up in the upper left corner, choose Place, and then I'm gonna use this beautiful dead example picture that I found. Now, this doesn't fit, as we can see. If I double click it, I get the brown lines again, and I can manually adjust the image to be the size I want it to be. What I can also do is click the image, so I have the blue outline, right click, go to adjust, and either fill my frame proportionally, or I use the content to fill it proportionally. Normally it would change a bit, but this is great. So this is not my dad, of course, but imagine this is your dad, and then you have this beautiful beginning of your Father's Day card. Now, I want to add a little banner down here. So, but this is all kind of far away, so I want to be closer to the screen. We can go up here, so up in the left corner, and we can adjust the percentage over here. If I make this 200, then everything becomes bigger, and I'm closer to the frame that I'm working with. And that can be very useful, of course, because sometimes you have to do more detailed work. So we're going to be making a little frame. I'm just going to go to Object and set this on its place. So when I select something, it won't be selected as well. I'm going to select the rectangle thing, and then we see the layout of it here. I don't want it to have an outline. Now it's like this outline, and I go down, so I go to 0, and I can see there's no outline. And I want it to be, let's make it red. There we go. Or we can make it the same color as the red dots by choosing the pipette and clicking. Oh, wait. I set those. If an image is stuck on the page, then it doesn't recognize it anymore. So there is no image then. So if I click the rectangle and I click the red thing now, I do get the proper color. Then I make a little rectangle. Here we go. I don't know why it's not filling up right now. There we go. So I clicked it down here. I'm going to set these again. Go. And here I have a little rectangle thing. I want it to be a bit more narrow. Okay, here we go. And it's centered. Well, that's not really a stash yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy this one by clicking it, pressing Ctrl+C or Command+C, and there we go. I can make it smaller with my my arrow, and I want this to be double, so I'm just gonna put it over here in the middle, something like this. I'm gonna repeat that over here. So now it's perfectly centered and aligned with this one. Oh wait, it's not. What can we do to fix this? Well, if we click the rectangle, here up in the left corner, we see this kind of raster. And this shows us a point of reference of where our X and Y points are at the moment. So the middle top part, our Y, is 146.4 millimeters. For the other rectangle, it's 145.4. So these should be the same. You can just select it and copy it, go to the other one, do the same, and there we go. Now we have them at the same level. I want the bigger part of the stash to be in front of the smaller part. So I'm gonna click it again, and I'm gonna go here to, it's schikken in Dutch. And I'm gonna say naar voorgrond, so get it forward. And now, as you can see with the blue lines, it's covering the smaller rectangles instead of being covered by them. No, I always think that a stash needs like a little triangle shape over here. What I can do, I make a random shape and I'm gonna fill it with the color pink. There we go. And I go to Object. I go to Vorm omzetten, so translate the shape, and I make it a triangle. Now, why did I make it pink? Just because then the difference between these two is a bit bigger. I'm gonna make my screen bigger again so I can see more clearly. Just gonna rotate the rectangle, triangle, and here we go. So now the triangle is right in the middle of the rectangle. Now what we're going to do, I select the rectangle. It's important that you do this in the right order. Then select the triangle. And we go to Object, so in the upper corner. Go to Pathfinder, and we choose aftrekken. So I don't know the English word, but the second option. And there we go. So now the triangle shape was cut from our original shape. Now we want it over here as well. Instead of doing it all again, we can just copy it, paste it, remove this one. I'm gonna mirror it because I want it to be the other way around. And then I put it in the middle, and again at the same height as the other one. I'm gonna put this one in front again. And then we have a little stashy kind of thing. Now I'm gonna go to text because I want to write something in here. I'm gonna make this a text frame content block, and now I can write whatever I want. I don't like this font type, it's Times New Roman, and I think there are a lot of different, more fun font types, so I gave you 3 things to download: the Lemonbird font, Besom font, and Alloy Ink. Alloy Ink is more of a balloon type of font. That's more for birthday, maybe. So when I have selected the text block, I can choose a font size. Now I want to use one that we downloaded. The Besom one. And I'm gonna type number 1 dad in it. Maybe I want it to be a bit more bold. We can go up here. We have a regular version. Well, I'm gonna show you this. Like, we use Futura Extended in Flow. It's the regular font. It's a bit too big for the block I had, so I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. So if your text is suddenly gone, it's just because your block isn't big enough. And if we go here, we have the company I want. We have different types of choices. We can make the italics, so they become tilted, bold to make it thicker or bold italic. But as you can see, a lot of fonts don't have this option. So we can add, for example, an outline, which makes it bigger. Of course, this outline is a little too big for this font. If I make it a bit bigger, then it gets a little bit more legible. It's still not very. And we can also adjust this a bit. And there we go. So we now have this outlined thing. Then I want everything to be in the center because I love things being centered. And I'm going to center the entire text block. If it would work for me. There we go. I'm gonna lower it a little and there we go. So I'm gonna zoom out again to about 75%. And you can see I have this number 1 dad stash over here that we made. Now I'm going to group this stash and the text because I think they should always be together. And then I want to just add some fun elements. So I'm gonna go to the frame thing, take the rectangle one, roll the rectangle, and I'm just going to file, place, and I'm gonna place this little party head over here because I like it. Then I'm gonna right click it, adjust, and fill the thingy proportionally, and tilt it a little bit. So now he is wearing a party hat. Wasn't big enough, I'm just making it a bit bigger. Look at him with his little hat on. I still think it could be a bit smaller, but I don't want to use the brown lines. So I'm just gonna right click the image, choose transform, scale, and I'm gonna make it, I think about 75% of what it is right now. Right click, and now I have an image at 75% size of the image that it was before. And then we have like this smaller kind of party hat thingy. There we go. Yeah, that's fun. We have him wearing the hat. Then maybe your dad likes beer, maybe he likes wine, maybe he doesn't like alcohol at all, he just drinks water, whatever. I just chose beer today because I think beer is very nice, and I'm also still a student for now, so beer is the way to go. I'm gonna make another image frame, choose the file place, and I'm gonna choose the beer mugs one. Now it's again not the right size, so I'm gonna adjust it to probably fill the frame. As you can see, well, the frame is now probably filled, but my image is still not correct. So now I'm not going to choose the top one, but the bottom one, so the content is adjusted to the frame instead of the other way around. I'm just going to put that over here, and we have a lovely beer mug thingy with our party dad. We can also place images without first making a content frame. I'll show you what happens then. So I want to place the beer mugs, I double click them, I place them, and then they are very big because they are now the original size of the image. So I can of course make them as small as I want by scaling them, and then I get smaller images still. However, I think I prefer first making a little content block to which I add the icons instead of the other way around. Instead of having to scale them down so much because they're now roughly the size I wanted. Then I'm going to place the garlands that I downloaded because I think they're really cute. I'm just gonna make a frame here at the top. I'm gonna add them to it, and as you can see, again, it's not the right size, so I'm gonna adjust it. And well, I don't want this. I don't want just the them below each other. So I can do two things. I can like bring down the blue line, remove the rest, and just keep these colors. or I can keep them all, and maybe something I like. I'm just gonna make this a bit smaller and then tilt them a little bit. And I'm gonna put them right over here in the corner. So we have little party garlands, and I want them on the other side as well. So I'm just gonna copy them, paste them, and mirror them. And then I can put them here as well. You can see the green lines, and they're showing me that they're on the same height as the ones at the other side. There we go. We have our little garlands. And I'm just gonna write some text right over here. So I'm gonna make a content block for text. I'm gonna zoom in a bit because it's easier. And I'm just gonna type, hey Dad, did you know? And then I'm gonna adjust something. I'm gonna use the Lemon Bird font because I like it. It's blue. It's black right now, but I think I want it to be. Yeah, I think I'll leave it black. I'm gonna adjust the sizing between the letters because I think it's a bit too compressed right now. So I'm gonna go upstairs, up here. There's a VA thing, and I'm gonna just click it until I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Letters are still a bit small. They're only at size 12 right now. So I'm going to make them bigger as well. Well, we have the #1 dad of the thing here, of course. Did you know you are, or you are the, and then put it right here. I'm going to tilt it a bit because I like things that are tilted. Make this a bit bigger as well. If you want it to be one straight line, just you make it like this. If you want it to be more like this, you can make the content block a bit smaller. Okay, so I place it over here, not on a big blue dot because then it won't be legible anymore. And let's see, well, it doesn't really stand out yet. I'm gonna make it like this, and I'm gonna make the text a bit bigger. So I'm gonna go to 25. I don't want to press the up button the entire time. If I see this red plus sign, it means that something is wrong with this frame. Well, it is because not all my text is in it. And by clicking it, you can see the other text. So now I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger again. And actually, I think I'm gonna put it all the way up. I want this to be at a 0-degree angle. You can choose the angle over here. So I'm gonna put it right here. There we go. And I want it to be centered again because I love things that are centered. I still don't think it's legible enough, so I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger again. I'm gonna make the font a bit bigger again. And there we go. Now don't forget, we have our cutting lines, and it's right in between the purple lines over here. As you can see, the garlands are not in between those lines, but that's okay. Okay, so then we have this. And yeah, I'm gonna put this one so I'm not clicking it accidentally. Okay, I'm just gonna add one more thing. So we have, hey Dad, did you know you are the #1 dad? I want to add something like, I'm gonna use the Lemon Bird font again. So I'm gonna add Happy Father's Day. Select it all, and I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger again. So about 40 maybe. Yes, that's nice. I want it to be centered again. Put it in the middle using my help line. And here we have this card now. I was just thinking of something else to add. Oh, right. I am going to zoom in again. So again, in the top left corner, I'm going to 300% because I need details. And here you can see our stash is now a bit plain. Well, maybe boring even. I want some shadow in it. So as you can see from the dotted lines, we have a grouped thing over here. I'm gonna double click. Oh, now I get the texture. I'm sorry. Double click the bigger part of the stash. Right click, and then we have effects over here, so a bit in the middle. And I want to add a shadow. I'm just gonna add this one. I'm not gonna adjust all this. Yeah, I can. As you can see, it's quite big right now. So 3.492 millimeters. That's this. I want it to be less big. Yeah, this, and I can also choose where I want the shadow to come from. So from above, from below. As you can see, it's now like the sun changing. I want it to be from right below, so 90 degrees. And this also makes it a bit smaller. But we're just going to leave it at 2. Then okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other ones. Make it a little smaller, 2 millimeters, and we're going to put 90 degrees in here. And this one as well. Make it 90. And make it smaller. Did I use 2 over here? Just checking. Yeah, 2. Okay, great. So now it's a little less plain, and it looks like it's living a bit more. Now there's still one thing I want to show you. Also, I'm gonna move this up a little bit because I don't like it this low. I'm gonna move this one up as well. I'm gonna use the Y value of the right thingy and put it on the left thingy as well. There we go. I want to show you one more thing. Go to 75% again so I can see everything. Maybe I think it's a bit too plain or whatever. I'm just gonna make a rectangle just to show you what can happen. If I make this rectangle and I fill it with the blue color, then my entire thing is covered. But I can make it transparent. So if we go a bit to the right corner, so over here, we can choose transparency. So I can make it 10%, and then there's just a blue fading over the entire document. I can make it 30%, and then it becomes brighter already. Make it 50%. And this is just a feature that I wanted to show you for the current project. Well, this is with 10% blue fading. This is without. I prefer without, so I'm going to delete it right now. I just wanted to show you that the transparency thing is an option that you should really use if you want to. So yeah, of course, it's also nice to actually have this card on your computer instead of just the InDesign file. So we can go up here, so up in the left corner to File, and we choose Export. Now you can export in a lot of different ways. I'm going to put it in the download, so you'll have a preview. Well, that's a bit meta. I can make a PDF of it. I can choose whatever I want. I can also make an EPS, so it's you can adjust it in Photoshop if you want to. I think for the current project, a JPG would be best. So I'm just gonna export it, choose Save, and I get all these options. I'm gonna choose to have it of the highest resolution, very high quality. Well, no, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna make it of a high, like 1 and 2. Export, and then it's gonna create the image for me. This is gonna be in the Drive file. Then I also want to export it as a PDF because PDFs are usually a very good quality. You can choose between for print and interactive. For print is often used for cards and magazines, stuff like that. So I'm gonna choose that as well. Save it, and then I get a lot of options again. But normally it's all fine. And we're gonna export it, and then we also have a PDF file. I'll show you over here. So this is the image that we got, and this is our PDF file. I think that's it. I'm gonna leave it at this. I like this card. I would advise you to use a picture of your actual dad instead of just a random internet picture I found somewhere, which is a cartoon. I believe it's from some dad joke site. So yeah, this is the tutorial. If I can help you with anything, please contact me. I am open to answer your questions. Um, of course, this was maybe a very quick tutorial. We just did this one card thing. If there's something else that you would like to know, and if there is something else you would like to make and you would like some tips or anything, just ask me. But yeah, this is it for today. I hope you have a wonderful Father's Day and you're making beautiful cards. Please do share them in the event because I'm very excited to see what you made. And for now, this is goodbye. Thank you for watching this tutorial and well, good luck.